Oh, what is up, everybody? And I wanted to start the morning with the updates on my small little town because I want to make the point that all these businesses that shut down, all these businesses that bootlicked, all these businesses that did what they were told and said 2 weeks, 2 weeks to stop the spread, all that, guess what? It's all going to be gone soon. There's a decent amount of traffic here. A lot of people, have tried to survive. Not many have been able to do it. In fact, all the bootlicking in the world and all the social distancing in the world and all the masks in the world, they didn't keep my old business open behind me. Red Jug Pub. They have a certificate in their window for LARPing. So now we're the hot spot in New York and a big story, at least on the East Coast. I'm not sure if it's making to the West Coast because they had this crazy college outbreak. Well, there's one person that I know of that is in the hospital and apparently has 105 fever. That's a student. Now, that's it. And I got that from two different sources. And out of 3,000 kids, one person has a fever. And there's a sign behind me that says, "Mask up. Please wear a mask." My goodness. And again, all the LARPing in the world, not keeping your business open. So right now, they have classified this as now a SWAT team for COVID coming into my town that is going to have carte blanche and 3 different testing sites with 70 contact tracers. I want everybody to take a good look around, okay? A real good look around. On Main Street, I don't think that you have 70 businesses open. I don't know that you have 30 businesses open on Main Street. So what are they really going to be here for? We're talking about 70 individual contact tracers on top of 3 testing zones. Now, here's the real kicker. They knew this was going to happen. What do you mean, Jason? How could they have known there was going to be an outbreak? They didn't even test these kids coming in from New York City and Long Island before they got here. Now, someone made the point because I was saying how they're now deploying the 40, not the 48-hour test, the 15-minute PCR tests, right? That's what's getting deployed. It's the nuttiest, the 15-minute test. Yet they tested none of these students before they got here. Now, if they were going to use those tests anyway, they can test 3,000 people in what? In 48 hours? You're telling me they couldn't pre-test them? They knew they wanted positives. That's what this is about. And now all these people are going to have fear instilled into them. You understand? There's going to be a panic here. A bunch of people are going to go get tested. There's going to be more positives for one person with a fever out of 3,000 plus students. I mean, that's the reality right now. And it is unbelievable. And the other thing is, the little minion of SUNY Oneonta and all the other SUNY schools, he just toured them right before this with a pool testing. They didn't test anybody. They didn't do it on purpose. And then I have to hear the ignorance of some of these students. All right, for instance, there's this girl who thinks that somehow this has something to do with labs being open. Labs being open? There's nothing to do with any labs being open. It's that, people are going to congregate and young people are going to get together no matter what. And when you have over 100 people who are asymptomatic, why is it an outbreak anyway? Again, no one's dying, all right? And now there's going to be panic. There's going to be contact tracers here. And guys, as soon as I see, you know how I feel about the contact tracers. You have no obligation to even talk to those people except for to tell them that they are the modern day Gestapo, the modern day brown shirt. They have no business telling you that you can't cough or you can't sneeze or you're not allowed to get sick. And I mean, come on. It's before 10 in the morning here, and we got people LARPing on the streets with masks all over the place. That's the reality of this thing. Okay? And yes, now we have the new CDC numbers that it was 6% that had no other pre-existings or whatever. Remember what the average age on this thing is. It's a lot. Okay? I mean, it's not like it's a young thing. So with the 105 breakout, I'm sure they're going to say that there's bigger numbers because they weren't supposed to release those numbers until Monday. Again, if you watch the show, we were covering it on Saturday. We had talked about the 29 that had gone positive. We talked about how they were testing people. And they say 105 today. Who knows what they'll say tomorrow? But with that, I guarantee you that out of those 105, every single one of these businesses, at least the restaurants, have been visited. So that means every single one of those employees are going to have to test. And if any of them test positive, then they're going to have to test everybody that they know, et cetera, et cetera. This is a domino effect to run a beta test in small town America with this contact tracing program. That, remember, Joe Biden wants 100,000 of these motherfuckers for COVID-1984 and other illnesses. Thumbs this up, subscribe, and share, guys. I'm pretty upset about the whole thing. They knew this was going to happen. Again, they didn't test them prior to them coming here in the first place. Now, there's a private college with about 2,000 people, right? And that's right next to it. Guess what? They did test. If you watch my interview with Bernard that was on the street walking impromptu interview, he told you how his son, who goes to Hartwick, did have to test. About 2,000 of them, right? So they tested to get up on campus. None of these guys did. So now all those people through contact tracing will end up having to test again. You know, again, the PCR test is complete garbage. And all I can say is, you know, no thank you. This is just so no thank you at this point. Oh. So obviously we're going to be visiting the 3 testing zones once they're set up. Again, I really don't know what to expect, but I can tell you this. I don't think that a lot of these businesses are going to be around much longer after this. I think bare minimum, they're going to shut down at least 5 of these bad boys, right? That's how I feel about it. There's 5. I mean, 5 might be lowball. Like the coffee shop, there's no way they're not going to contact trace everybody. Again, and when you show people that the tests are inaccurate, especially like these very, you know, quick PCR tests that are probably testing for, you know, traces of the thing or possibly other cold or coronaviruses, and they refuse to accept it. And then, like, for instance, I showed a Daily Mail story on it, right? That was the thing. Showed the Daily Mail story on it, and they go, it's the Daily Mail. And I'm like, well, what about the New York Times one that cites the same exact thing? You know, people, again, they don't want the truth. They want confirmation bias. And confirmation bias and thinking that you're, you know, helping. Again, last night, the MTV thing, it was about as masky as it could be. It was like super maskathon. It was over-the-top masking. It was mask-rageous. And that mask fear is even bigger here now. Listen, this contact tracing story, 70 contact tracers for my little town. 70? Think about that. If they only had 105 positives and they're deploying 70 contact tracers, all right? 70 contact tracers. Can you imagine the amount of people that are going to be netted into that with these very impressionable, young, probably scared shitless college kids that are in their late teens, early 20s? They're going to rat out every single place they've been to. I really wonder how long these contact tracers are going to stay here. It's absolutely insane. And now's the time again to push back. I need real help here. Who's ready to come down to New York, to come down to Oneonta once these things are set up and protest them? These contact tracers have no right to be here. And again, they set it up this way. They set it up to fail. I kept telling you this. They want to lock down too. They want to restrict more businesses. They want to shut down bars and restaurants. They want to gut the middle class even further. That's what this is. This is a predator class agenda. Okay? Repeat it with me. This is a predator class agenda for an automation nation that starts off with a UBI and mandatory everything, and a nanny state that you can't even imagine, that turns into a transhumanist nightmare. We're already in a dystopian nightmare every day. Don't fool yourself. Stop sugarcoating it. That's how I feel. I'm in a dystopian nightmare every day. This is it. We are actually living the dystopian nightmare every day. Every day. It's here, baby. And it was a little more incremental than I first thought. You know, again, I was glad to get the military martial law takeover wrong and blocking off New York City and all that. I'm a human being, but everything else we talked about, from demonizing cash and trying to move to a more cashless society, that pushes here, right? Mandatory vaccinations, that pushes here. Regulation of movement, that pushes here. Quarantining, that pushes here. The consolidation of power, that pushes here. Billionaires, again, becoming richer and richer and richer. It's all here. So thumbs the video up, subscribe and share. I wanted to start it off with a walk today, just 'cause, I didn't sleep well last night. I'm not happy that, again, a team of 70 contact tracers and 3 different testing sites are being erected in this small little town. You've walked with me many times, Burmese Brigade. It's a little place. That's a lot of people, okay? It's a little place. That's a lot of people. If you can, guys, support me in the links below. The GoFundMe's how to do it. $5, $10, $15 means the world to me. I absolutely love you guys, and I'll see you on the flip side.